I think you're a good leader, right? I think from the outside looking in, and just kind of being around you, and I think I've been more of a dog in life. I get it done. I'm gonna do it. But we doing this flag football right now, man. Your ass be out there like a dog, and I'm learning how to lead. So you like, do what you said you gonna do.
All right. Welcome to another episode of As a Man, Readeth. This is D
and Goolsby.
Goolsby is in his Coach Prime era right now. His Coach Prime mode, just right there. Dag burn it. I'm trying to tell you that's what's about to happen. Listen, we got a great book for you again today. We got a great series for you. We are going through Coach Prime, Deion Sanders. Elevate, dominate, baby. That's what we're doing. Now, the reason why we're probably already in the space, if you think about it, if you get the book, but also get the audio book, because Prime is actually reading it, and boy, it is fun. It is a fun listen every morning. At least it was for me. What about you, Goose?
Man, even if you broke, you know what I'm saying, keep moving. You gotta keep it moving.
Absolutely.
I'm one of the greatest that ever played the game. Mm-hmm. So you already know where I'm coming from, baby.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, man. Prime. It's so interesting living in this time, because watching him play, you watched the game before there was a Mike Vick. It was a prime time.
For sure.
And whenever he playing, you watching the game.
Yeah.
And he was in the ATL. And not only was he a Falcon, this brother was a Brave.
Yes, he was.
He going to Super Bowls, playing in World Series. Like, who is this man?
He, as he says in the book, he was him.
He
said, I was him. I know I was him. And I realized I was him for a while. Okay, let's go. Yeah, man.
Didn't smoke, didn't drink. But now looking back, though, you realize he wasn't even at full strength then. I mean, because he had hawked somebody down way back way back when he first became a Falcon. But he kind of got, it's like a little limp when he run, kind of a little stutter thing.
It's from his toe injury.
Yeah, his toe's been like that for a long time.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, he had to lose two of them.
Yeah.
His big toe and the toe next to the big toe.
Yeah.
While he was in Jackson State. So while you had people out here hating on this man, this dude was in pain, not only in pain, but possibly about to lose his life.
Yeah. Yeah, from the blood clots. Still don't understand why they did everything in Mississippi, but that's a whole different conversation.
What do you mean? What thing in Mississippi? Where were we going?
Why they did the surgery in Mississippi? I thought he was like, well, okay. Anyway, not saying anything bad about Mississippi. I love Mississippi. I love Mississippi.
M-I, cricket letter I, cricket letter I, humpback I. Okay, yeah. I had to show you how. All right.
So the book, basically, for everyone, basically what he does is basically he goes, his number was 21. So he has 21 lessons, 21 principles, 21 pieces of guidance to give us throughout the book. And I really enjoyed it. So we want to give you a little bit of a synopsis of what's going on and just discuss it. Let's jump in there. I think so. That first chapter was setting the stage for success.
Yes.
Yeah.
Setting the stage for success, and in setting that stage, he was basically saying, if you're broken, you still got to keep moving.
Yeah.
You got to figure that out. You have to keep that moving. He says, when life, and what I like about Prime, he's such a good coach because he breaks down exactly how to do it in simple sentences. You put over here. Simple sentences. So when life knocks you down, get back up. That was his first takeaway. And so he said, determined people have a funny way of creating their own luck. If you keep showing up, no matter how tough it gets, you're going to come out on top. Very to the point.
Yep.
If you're on the field, get your ass back up. Like, even if you're hurt, walk off the field,
And he talks really about like being as proactive as possible, even anticipating. So we even thinking about like how you even set your clothes out in the morning. Like it's all about like at least preparing yourself for what's actually about to happen. I think and part of the book, he says it a couple times in the book, but I practice the way I want to play.
Okay.
So I play when I play, it's just like practice. And I love that. I was like, that's good. That's good, Prime. That's good. But he said that before, of course, in a lot of different other spaces. But I think that's really kind of what he leans into, according to that principle, making sure that you have the proper mindset, get your butt back up, but also be prepared so that you can get back up.
Yep. He was like, the strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire. Woo. He was talking about him having this injury, him having this condition with the clots in his leg, and and not feeling good, and having to spend 23, but it wasn't 21 straight days, but it was 23 straight days in the hospital. And he was like, he said, most people would say, why me? And he said, why not me?
Yes.
Because something big, he believes the enemy is coming after him. So, because he's destined for something greater. So that hit me. I was like, man, when you're going through some things, when things are hitting you and you just like, I don't understand what's happening, just understand that the strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire.
For sure.
And you got something?
No, I was saying for sure. So I think the other part of that was him getting into that mode of, as he goes through the surgery, what we're talking about a lot of times is what I got from that as well is, intention and disruption and distraction. All those things kind of like go hand to hand. So as soon as you set that intention, some sort of distraction is going to happen. Some sort of disruption is going to happen. Something's going to try to dislocate you from where you're going and try to get you off the intention and off the mission. And I think for him to think about it, what's going on mentally, one of the best athletes of our time, literally a Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah, literally.
Literally a Hall of Famer, gold jacket wearer, one of the fastest on the field, both fields. When I say that, from the base, from the diamond to the turf, right? And now he may not be able to walk for a while. He definitely can't run anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so what that has to do to what that probably did to him mentally, if he wasn't really prayed up, man, you could see how that could just, because don't forget, a lot of this is a part of his identity as well. And he talks a little bit about like knowing who you are in the book. It's such a good book it's simple, but I think he really just like opens it up knowing that he could have fell into a larger, big pit, knowing that he could no longer do the things that made him who he really is. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I think the critics, I don't think that they understand the depth in which, like you just said, if we got a whole movement right now about identity, right? Mm-hmm. He was identified as one of the greatest players ever. But of course, they say in all the sports shows, Father Time is undefeated. And he's prime time.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And when your identity is taken away, he can't continue to be like, I'm the fastest man, because you're not. Yep. You're simply not that anymore.
Yeah.
You are this new thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows that. And he's accepted it. He's not fighting against who he now is. You dig. We Prime. And see, Prime says it in a way that I can say what I want to say, because it's just so, he keeps it practical. He's so practical with it. He says, a couple more of his takeaways from chapter 1 was, nobody's living a perfect life. Forget about what you see on social media. So you're not the only one who's facing some problems. Mm-hmm. He had another one. Show each other compassion, lift each other up, and support each other. One more. Take care of yourself physically and don't ignore your mental health. Because all those to me are circled around self-care and helping others.
Yeah.
I look at this person over there. Why are you hating on someone over there when you know everyone has problems? Everyone is going through different things and situations, and they react in certain ways. So be compassionate, man. Just understand that everything ain't what you think it is. It's not what it's definitely not what you think it is. You might see me smiling, but I'm in pain,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was definitely a great way to start it off. Definitely a great way to start off. So he kind of centers us in the beginning, really talking about the mindset. And then from that mindset, he talks about in chapter 2, kind of moving into like vision and goals, where he's talking about really, again, how do you got to have the vision, baby. You got to know where you're going. You got to know what you want. And he talks a little bit about, what he was doing down in Fort Myers and how he wanted to play football. And he knew he was going to play. He had a vision that he was going to play pro. And I think that is, and then it's like, okay, what do I need to do to get there? And so what about you, man? Like, I think, you're an athlete as well.
Uh-huh. How do I feel? Yeah, I agree with him.
Yeah.
Totally setting the temperature for the day, like he said, setting temp. Start your day off the way you need to get started. Because if you don't, everything is downhill from there. Yeah, and it's funny now being a former athlete and then never making it to where he got to, but just being on that trajectory of keeping your body together. Because I was always pulling my groin, running. I didn't understand why am I pulling my groin?
You gotta stretch, man. You gotta
stretch.
But you didn't start yoga till like your 30s.
Yeah, late 30s. But let me also say this too, Trey, is it wasn't only just the stretching, it was stretching the right muscles. I'm stretching, I'm just not stretching. I think I'm stretching my groin. I'm just stretching my hamstrings.
Yes.
I'm not stretching my hip flexors. No. I'm not stretching my psoas. Mm-hmm. I'm not stretching all the muscles that are kind of connected to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so again, setting the temp and understanding how I want my day to be, how I want my body to be, how I want my mindset to be. And that's why he said you gotta establish a good morning routine. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you probably have a really good morning routine only because I know you're traveling West Coast, East Coast, and you 4 a.m. in the morning sometimes, 6 a.m. Like I'm like, I don't know. So what's your morning routine like?
So one thing we get up, one of the things I think my fiance realized a while back, she's like, you don't really use a clock, right? And I was like, I told her, I was like, I don't use a clock. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't use a clock. I know how to train my body to just get up when I want to get up, right? So I usually typically get up about 5 o'clock every morning. I'll start off with some lemon water to kind of help start flushing the system, have my little bio break. Now I'll come into my office. Sometimes I used to, in my old place, I would go downstairs and start my meditation practice. So it would be anywhere from 10 to 15 to 30 to a full hour, depending on what was happening in that moment. Typically I try to go for a full hour to kind of get everything out. Or release as much as I can. Sometimes I'm speaking, sometimes I'm not. And then I'll start to write. After that, then I'll go through doing some sort of reading to kind of close out that time. So within that span, it could be about a 2-hour time. So I'm starting about an hour and a half, and then I'll jump into the gym if I'm doing the gym in the morning. Sometimes, back then, a few years ago, I would just try to squeeze out, carve out time to do the 3 p.m. They tell that that's like the weirdo time in the gym.
Yeah, yes, it is.
And it's like, why are you here at 3 o'clock? It's such a random time. But it's like for me, it's like it's after lunch. It's it's like a really good productive time for me. And so I wouldn't even go to the gym around that time. So this morning I got there pretty early, but that's usually my. But you get up too, man. You have your yoga practice still, you have your meditation, you have your reading. Tell everybody what you're doing.
Yeah, so pretty much, and I'm getting back on schedule. So the idea is to get up between 5 and 6. The goal is to be up at 5, but it's been slipping to 6 lately. And so I get up, either I'll do a 30-minute cardio hit type thing. So I rotate. I want to say it's almost monthly, because I got to keep my body like what's going on. So I get up, literally I'll do my cards. and I'll do my reading like Arate early in the morning. I'm setting the tone for my day. I might pull a card for those who don't know. And then I look at that card, I break that card down. I was like, okay, so this is what I'll focus on today. And what I mean is like some type of concept. Intuition was today. So I'm looking, being intuitive. The veil is thin between what I feel and what I see. And so I know that. Cool. And then I'll do my hit. This morning, me and Trina worked out really early.
Okay.
And so did my workout. Then what I'll do is I'll post my AAMR, which is As a Man Readeth. I'll write my acting game with my, this is all singular. And then I'll work on some acting, like memorizing a monologue or something like that. Or I'll get lost on esoteric things right now, like the periodic table. It's like Terrence Howard is figuring out like how like people like, but he's an actor. Like, no, acting is part of that's how he makes money.
Yeah, he acts. It's not part. It's a vocation,
right? Well, you was like Denzel. You said Denzel was like,
oh yeah. We were on the phone. We were on the phone the other day. It was like, A.R. Bernard was like, yo, people look at you as a hero, and Denzel says, those are roles I played. Please do not believe that I am all of those roles. I am more like the guy in Training Day,
right?
That I am. Like, woohoo, that's so good. And so I think that was really important. But like, he's an actor. That's not his whole identity. He plays like you play make believe for a living. That's
you get paid for it.
That's it, and get paid. You can't beat it.
Yeah, man. There's no complaints here, which is funny because that goes into Prime says don't buy into all those false thoughts and crazy mental images that run through your mind. Because if you're not careful, they become your reality. Whether it's through music, reading, podcast. Because that's what I'm noticing. As much as I'm pushing, or we're pushing AAMR or As a Man Readeth, it's like, people are into this puffy thing right now, are into that YSL trial. I think that's the name.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I used to be so caught up with all the pop culture because I was imitating people at the time. I was doing Bill Clinton. I did not touch that woman. Chris Ryan, although there's only a certain amount of people. Now it's so many different groups. There's so many things going on. It's like I can't keep up with it all. And even if I was trying, like Kendrick and Drake, it's like Kendrick is trying to smash Drake's whole career, trying to crucify. Like this is, I'm just saying, based on the itty bitsy things that I'm seeing, I don't know what's true or what's not true, other than it just looks like a black on black violence to me. That's just what it is. We're words, and we justified it like, no, we supposed to roast each other. Hey, it is hitting though. It is just dancing to somebody getting roasted the whole time. But you've been on top for so long. I don't know what Drake think was gonna happen. I'm talking about the whole. I wouldn't be surprised if Kendrick is in bed with the hype like P. So is it just a conspiracy that P Diddy is about to fall, and now we need a new leader type on top, and then be Kendrick? He on the West Coast. He finally smashed the East Coast, West Coast. I don't know, man.
Yeah, because he's Drake's from Toronto, right? That's like East. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of interesting. Anyway, yeah, but I feel you on that, man. I think we have to look at we just have to always consider what our gates, are taking in, right? What are our gates open to? Because that's going to set a lot, so because your gates are going to have certain appetites as well. So once we start to get used to the craziness and the certain beats and certain music and certain visuals, and, at a certain point, we get really used to it. Then we start desiring, then we start maybe even craving it. And then when it's not there, it's like, this is different. We start to identify with it. Right. And then at that, it starts to move into something else. right? It's now like a part of who we are. And then if it's a part of who you are, and it's a part of who I am, and it's a part of everyone that's connected to us, now it's a part of culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now it's not even something that we even are conscious of sometimes as much. One of the things is just become a part of like a hypnotic rhythm of how we move. And I'm like, nah, you got to pay attention to those things. You got to really start paying attention to all the different rhythms, and like Prime is talking about, like you got to like put some frames on some certain things, knowing what you want. Prime talks about him not drinking, him not smoking, right?
Yep.
But he had on the other gates, women was his issue.
Whew.
Right? So,
Lord.
letting women whisper in his ear.
Hey, that's tough.
Got him in a little trouble.
It's tough.
A few times.
Hey, man. Yep. Mine was my thing used to be weed, whiskey, women. Oh my God. And not in any particular order.
Yeah.
Man.
I feel that.
And so, but I wanted to piggyback off what you just said, going into chapter 3, be where your feet are. Gotta know where you at, man. You gotta know where you at. Like he said, put your best effort into everything you do and concentrate on the task at hand.
Yep.
If I'm playing this game, if I'm doing AAMR, if I'm doing the acting game, if I'm doing martial arts with my daughter, I can't be thinking about the other things. I gotta be in that moment right there.
Right.
With my baby. When I'm martial arts with my daughter, if I'm with you, we're right here talking about Prime. I can't be thinking about the next thing. Because he said, have a plan for your day so you don't waste any opportunities. Like his takeaways in chapter 3, all kind of align within the structure of the thing. So have a plan. He says, visualize is one of the most important, powerful forms of belief. If you have kids, be present in their lives. Yes. Right? He says, once you know how to be where your feet are, your biggest task is winning your day.
Can't beat it.
And so I'm going to jump back real quick. Last chapter, he says either you're a belief or you believe or you're a belief. And so when you believe, you are a creator of your day. And when you're a belief, it's kind of like, you just kind of off into the ether. I'd rather say it the way he said it, because even the way I just said it, he said this. He says, when you're a belief, that's what people say, what society projects on you. It's the stereotype some people can never escape. To reach your potential, you need to be a believer. Do you visualize? Are you a visualizer?
Not as much. I don't know what I do as visualization. I get a sense. So it's not necessarily an actual vision, but it does feel like I'm in alignment within the steps. So it feels very confirming and affirming when I take the step that I get the sense that I need to move. So, but I don't necessarily see it. I have and Coach Prime talks about like how everything I saw, baby, I saw it and I went after it and I knew exactly what was going to happen. I was like, hey man, you gotta love that.
Yes.
But I don't think I have that ability, maybe even right now, or have that. If it's very prominent in my life right now. So yeah.
I would like to start researching that because visualization for me, I have insight. Like I see it. Like this couple of years. This was back. Anyway, I played a New Year's football game. We played football games every New Year's at Southwest Cab. Shout out to Decatur East Side. Churchill Downs. Anyway, and we would play every New Year's. And so I was tying my shoes. I was tying my cleats up. And I saw me running the seam and the pass coming straight to me. Boom. And I catch it and I run for a touchdown. I saw it as clear as that. It was like, just imagined it. I wasn't thinking it was going to happen. Then in the game, as it's happening, I was like, okay, don't mess this up. Because I don't wish you realize something that's happened and you start thinking to it. No. Just go back into the ether. Yeah. I saw it as clear as day, man. I saw it as clear as day when I have a lot of deja vu. So it's not been intentional. So I want to make it intentional.
Yeah.
I think there's a power there that I'm not tapping into, but he mentions it and I believe it.
Yeah.
That's Prime.
Obviously he had something, you know.
Yeah. He had that. Yeah. He you know that cologne he wore? You know that cologne he was wearing?
That's just confidence.
Confidence. Yeah. Chapter 4.
That's just confidence.
Yeah. Make confidence your natural odor. You know.
Yeah.
That would just smell. It would just smell on me.
Yeah, that's what you smell. That I don't even wear cologne because my confidence. Well, I said, man, this is
very.
I'm telling you, man. I listen to it when I get up in the morning when we were reading it, and I was like, yo, this is great. If he don't pump you up in the morning, like dude, for everyone that's reading, if this is your first time, read it.
That's your words. I'm just playing back.
Good job. If he don't get you hype in the morning, he did. He got you hype in the morning, and man, but he's such a motivator, man. He's such a motivator
because he keeps it in simple terms, and I you know when people say keep it simple, stupid. When I played baseball, my coach used to always say, "Kiss, man, keep it simple, stupid," and I was like,
"Top of the ball,
cool, yeah, just hit the ball,
top of the ball. That's it. That's what I'm trying to do."
Yeah, swing down on the ball. Boom. You know, keep your butt down when you're fielding the ball. And so during practice, I was flipping balls behind my back and all this shit. It would piss coach off. Because he's like, you can't be doing it. I was like, but that's what I do though. I'm not doing it because I want to look pretty. I'm doing it because that's the play. And let me tell you something, Trey. I wasn't messing up. So if I would do it, my baseball players out there, Brandon, Tony, Wes, in the middle, Jeremiah, who I played second, he was at short. We look like Alan Trammell and Lou Whitaker out there, man. And had the afro, and he had the long blonde hair. Hey, man, we was in the 70s out there. Anyway, what I'm saying is they could attest to me. The way I played is the way I practiced, the way I played. Because in the game, one of them, I did that in practice. It wasn't like, hey, man, it's just what I did. You know what I mean? I'm trying to tell coach. And coach, hey, man, Coach Tommy Knight, man, he had these jaws, man. Yeah. Hey, man, he was a good coach, though. Where was I going with that? Oh, be who you are. If you can figure out who you are in life and just lean into who you are, lean into your weirdness. Yeah. Because I've been practicing that shit all my life. Trey, were you there at that talent show at Nesby that I won against Smoke? It was long. I'm talking about we were freshmen, dude.
We were there because we performed as well.
Yeah. So
we did the school days thing.
School days, was that in the student center? In that little room off? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I ended up winning that because I did the whole competition. I signed up, and I remember when I signed up. You know, Carlos. Shout out to Carlos, him and his family. I went to sign up. He said, "Goose, what you doing?" I was like, I'm about to do the talent show. He's like, I mean, what you gonna do? I was like, I don't. I said, I don't know what I'm gonna do. He's like, man, you crazy, man. I can't do that. I can't do what you do. Then we do the talent show, right? And I just sit up in front of everybody. I didn't know what I was gonna do, Trey. This is before I'm acting, before any of this stuff. And I act like I'm being birthed. Anyway, long story short, the competition, it was a tie between me and Smoke. Because Smoke did a rap and I did the baby thing. And then the tiebreaker was a freestyle rap. And I was acting like, I'm about to win this. They don't know. They don't know me. They don't know. Smoke did a good job, but I'm a battle. Like I'm free. I will join you as I rap. Anyway, I won that. But what I'm saying is I should have known then to lean into that energy. And I was trying to be an engineer, Trey. I'm trying to be an engineer. Not that I can't be. Anyway, I went on a rant.
Well, I think, and also kind of leaning into that. I think you, one of the, man, you just got me with the Carlos impression though.
Come on, Trey.
That's such an inside joke. It is great. It's perfect. I think the identity question that all of us are trying to figure out, it is a constant pursuit. But I think you can get about 80% of it, really understanding what you values. Because I don't necessarily think values change as much. I think priorities change based upon where you are, based upon the values and the context that you're in. But I think the values pretty much stay where they are. There may be a value shift here and there, but it's just lower intensity. So it's the priority for that value is just not as high.
Why do you think the value shifts?
I just so let's say you're at a different stage of life, right? So for me, like there's some people that value making money over spending time with family, right? They have both of those values, but one may be louder and more prominent for them at a different stage in life. So, I value family, right? So, but I also value making sure that I have a roof over my head and taking care of everything we need to take care of. And so it's like trying to figure out what that balance is. But when I was younger, I still value family, but I was trying to get the money, right? So the priority moved and shifted. The value was still there for both, but the priority and where it was in that stack was just different. And so I think that's what happens based upon your life context, your life stage. I think those are when you start to realize that the values are pretty much the same. There's just one is going to be a lot louder in your life, a lot more prominent.
Boom. And he says also, I'm going to shift it over to the next chapter, but before I get there, it's like, he says, is it even possible to be confident and humble at the same time? And he was like, yes, it is. Humility shows you're an actual human. And it's going to attract people. If you're likable, self-aware, and disciplined, those aspects of humility actually display quiet confidence. Mark my words. People will practically line up to do business with you. And he said, little things mean a lot. So no matter how far you go in business and life, never forget where you came from. And I think this book is for people in his generation too. He's saying, are you a leader or are you a dog?
Dog.
Right? In chapter 5, he goes into that.
Yeah.
Everybody can be a leader. Every dog can be a leader, and every leader ain't a dog, And he goes into what that means. But what I'm also saying is that this is not only for folks on the field, for his players. This is for people, employees, entrepreneurs, just the layman in life, man. These principles apply to you as well. I want to give you the definition of his specific definition of leader and a dog, but I know the leaders make decisions. Leaders have to make decisions.
As simple as that.
And I appreciate you. You know what, man? I would think in life, I think I'm learning how to lead. And this is my theory. And like he says in this chapter, communication is everything. And being clear and concise with the expectations that you set as a leader. You must consistently hold people accountable for your expectations of them. And you can't shrink as a leader. And so I'm learning all this, y'all, in flag football. I would suggest y'all get out there, play pickleball, be moving around other people. And so theory, this is what also I'm noticing in life on social media. There are a lot of theories out there. And I'm like, BS, get around people and don't see if there's a natural hierarchy that kind of takes place. Now, sometimes it's a programmed hierarchy. It's certain people who feel like they just take the lead. They will just take the lead.
I got it.
They may not be the best leaders, but they take the lead. And what that does is I recognize is that activates other people. Because in our situation, one guy just took the lead. I was like, oh, well, if he leading, I'm right behind him. And I just jumped in right behind, right? But there was a discussion Trey and I had before this even took place. We was like, hey, this thing can't happen the way it happened last time. So if it happens, we're going to check it. I said, cool. As it's happening, I'm not seeing this is the same thing. This is the birth of the thing. I'm not recognizing the birth of it. I jump right on in. And he's like, dude, you can't let that happen. I'm like, what's happening? And that's why communication is everything. That's why you can't get caught up in why people are doing things. Ask questions. Stop assuming and find out. And people don't like when you try to. What I'm learning is when someone doesn't want to either reveal the truth or they have an agenda, nothing's coming out. It's like, what's happening? Why is this happening? Well, I just ain't said nothing. So that's why the leaders lead. That's what I'm also saying.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to lead. I just have chosen not. My old teammates know. Hothead. I'm the hothead of the group.
Your old friends do too.
Right. Wrong.
Yeah,
so,
all of us know. But
the new friends don't know that, Trey.
No, they
when
don't.
I tell people I had an attitude, they were like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Well, I've done my job. I've
Oh
done
boy,
my
yes,
job."
sir. I know it's
God,
something. We know it's something different when I'm the old sage of the group, but not the Eric. When I'm the, it's a whole different life. But you know what else, man? I think when you start to move into those leadership roles, so for you all that didn't really understand, so for you all to like lift that up and more, I was on the phone with Goose, like, hey, I think it's happening right now. He's like, what's going on? I'm like, remember what we talked about? It's happening right now. Because one of my things is, as an observer, I'm just watching patterns. So even in my practice, all I do is watch patterns.
right.
I'm seeing how people move, and when I see it happening again, I'm like, okay. And I see it like, because it just become, and they don't even necessarily know they are doing it because, like you said, they've been programmed. That's been their operational mode for years probably, and
For your
so
life, yeah.
for their whole life, and so that's how they move. And I was like, we got to catch it and stop it before it happens, because it's going to happen, and then we're going to be like, oh, then everyone's going to be frustrated because the other pattern is that we don't have people that sometimes the other pattern is is conflict avoidance.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. That's the other pattern that we have to always break too. But let's go to chapter 6. I think we're on chapter 6 right now. Let's keep going.
Yeah, and that's going into knowing. Oh no, I was jumping in 7. Let me go back to 6. 6 is mastering the 3 W's: want, work, win. Right.
Yes.
And his takeaways from that, I'll just say all 5. He says you've got to really want it. That's 1. 2, visualizing what you want keeps the dream alive, but ultimately you need an action plan. 3, if you don't want to work, you will not make it in life. 4, there's all sorts of ways to win. Small wins can equate to big victories. 5, don't look for a shortcut. So, and all that takes me to what we're doing as a man Readeth, posting every single day. We're posting clips every single day. It's the small wins. It's the small wins, man. Because I might look at a like. We get 5 likes. I'm like, yeah, yeah. Because 5 likes, even 2 likes a day for 30 days is 60 likes, right? Now, not that I'm caring about the likes, but it's a marker, right? It's just marking something. There's 60 more likes that we would have versus having not posted no days for the month. And starting where we're starting, we also get to see the pattern of it all. I get to see who's liking now, right? When it's all, because it's funny, because I don't know how to look at it. Okay, so I'm framing it like this. My mom, I like certain little posters. She's like, boop. I was like, thanks, Mom. Like the big kid I am. Like, thanks, Mom. Appreciate it. Because there are other people that are seeing it too. But I feel like when people who don't know me or don't know us start boom, 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 and it starts getting into the 2Ks and the 5Ks, then that's when the people that already know you kind of jump in. I don't understand. Like, I don't know what that means. I just know it's something that I'm seeing in other ways. But anyway, what I'm saying is staying focused on the little things will gain, because the vision is as a man Readeth, and I'm doing this on purpose so we can clip back to this years from now. It's like, when we just big and it's like, I don't know what to tell you. We in Dubai next week.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and the other thing I think that's a put in this practice, let's go back to the beginning of the book about having a morning routine and so on. But it also, that wanting is also, as you kind of put certain things into play, the posting every day is kind of like the person that creates a pot every single day for 30 days is going to be better than the person that builds a pot over 30 days.
Correct.
Right?
I would say that.
Makes sense, right? And so the practice that you get of the failure, the trying, the trial and error, what you like, what you don't like, but it's also the habit of like effectuating the skill is what you also want as well. So keep going.
Yeah,
one.
And you start picking up the patterns, man. It's like you're an observer. I want to be a better observer, because I know when I see something, I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna make the move, man. So And you know I'm gonna do it too. That's why you tell me. I'm like, why you didn't do it? He's like, well, I mean, you in a position. I mean, that's your position. I'm just saying what I'm saying. That's because I can make an impact from where I am. Versus if you do it, it wouldn't, because you're not the quarterback in a game that we're talking about here. If you were the captain of that part, then cool. More of like the Udonis Haslam, where it's like I got the guys in tow, like they will fight for me and with me. And so the first week we played, when I started, we lost, right, y'all? We made some mistakes. I wasn't running the ball. I wasn't making particular reads, wasn't using time wisely. The next game we practiced. Then the next game, I took all the notes from the first game. I took the notes from the half, because I think we went into the half like 7-6 or something. It was really close, but we ended up winning 7-7. Then we ended up winning 27-7. Made all the adjustments, right?
Yep.
And I was like, and it started coming to me because I started understanding, if the linebackers are in, I got my my second QB out there. I can throw it to the fire, or whatever. Yep. People, you ain't got to know all this. But what I'm saying is, I'm reading the defense now. I'm understanding what's happening. I couldn't do that theoretically speaking. If somebody's telling me, I'm like, okay. Then you're in it. It's like everything is too much coming at one time. You have to put yourself in that to understand it. I think sometimes
you can't. And I say this, and I probably wrote this probably in the book before too, that you can't liberate people by theory alone. You definitely can't empower them by theory alone. A lot of times you need, not a lot of times, most of the times you need practice.
Yes,
they have to practice the liberation theology. It has to be put into place. It had to be put into real time for things to actually move. Not just have a theory about something that doesn't actually come out in some sort of practical application. So something right.
And I think that's what people are getting lost in. Well, men and women are like talking about, what are you and her doing? Let's just, I can't go into all these generalizations.
There's a lot of folks talking about men and women on different podcasts, and they are just as single as they need to be. Y'all can be single forever. It's gonna be just men and women. We're gonna be a middle school dance forever. That's what y'all doing. Y'all on one side of the wall, they on the other side of the wall. Talk about, I really want them, but you know how they be. Okay,
right. Man. If you ain't down there in the middle of the dance floor, then you ain't got nothing to really say. Yeah. And then the people dancing don't care what the people on the wall saying anyway.
Ever. Never.
Boom. Never. So he was like, chapter 7, know who you are. Not only know who you are, but know who's on your team. And I've been very, very particular lately of selecting who I want to spend my time with and who I want my team to be with. I can't have anybody on my team I cannot depend on. That's what I realized. That's what a team, everybody plays a position. Each position has a role. Each role has a function. Each function is intricate to how the machine moves. So maybe you do have the friend that never shows up, but when they do show up, it's always on time. Okay, that's cool. And that's the role that they play. Yep. I had my bachelor party. Had a friend of mine, I won't say his real name, but I'll say his nickname. Debo was supposed to throw my bachelor party.
Which I was not invited to, by the way, y'all. This was many, many years ago. See how he brings that up, and I was not invited.
Well, that was the guy who was throwing. He was supposed to let everybody. He told me.
Good. Okay.
And when I told you who was throwing it, that should have let you know.
You're right.
What were you doing?
Yeah, that's true.
You depended on him to do, and I'm saying it. I love you, and he know I love him. I ain't seen him since Trent and his baby was babies. Yeah. But because I was like, I can't have that energy. I can't. You can't be shitting on me. And I know that's what you're gonna do. And I don't know if he's doing it on purpose. I don't know. Yeah, guy, I got you. I called him the night. Where are the strippers? That was tonight. Oh yeah, fools.
Oh boy, that's funny.
Yo. But my other homeboy came through, who I didn't expect, came through and had the exotic dancers come through that evening. But in that moment, I said, I knew though, there's a track history of people just getting cheated on. I don't know another word for it, or maybe them being naive.
And you know what it is, though. Also, though, I think
Please.
not recognizing your own pattern as well. So some things that people may not be may not be fully conscious of about how they operate, right? Or they
Right.
overpromise. Sometimes people overpromise because they are also, and that's how they've been trained, or how they train themselves to be. So they are always overpromise, but really within their own capacity and capability, it's actually just not there. And I think that's really important too, to kind of, not, it's funny to kind of think about now, but I wonder, is like, what else was going on in his life, like at that moment? It's like, is something else going on? Why is he so distracted about certain things? Like, what else? So that's the way I start moving. I start thinking about it from a compassionate standpoint, like, hey man, what the hell going on?
Way to balance that
Like,
out.
right? It's a way to look at it. Like, what else is going on with you? Because this is not an isolated incident. Like you said, like, there are moments in everyone in the crew's life where you have, here's the ball, you drop it. What's going on? So I think those are things that that's the way I kind of play about that too, man. But keep going. So going back to Coach Prime. What did he say? What was he saying?
He said, don't go hiding behind the costume. All right, let me give you his takeaways.
Yeah.
Don't go hiding behind the costume or a false front. That's 1. 2, know who's on your team. 3, figure out your personal brand and promote it. 4, don't do this alone, y'all. Build a good network of people. And then 5, if you're on a team, you got to be a good teammate, which I guess I just wasn't. And I appreciate you being a good teammate by realizing the compassion. I guess I was bringing out the yang to the yin when I was saying that, because that's how it felt. But even when, if I say you get shit on, that's how you grow flowers, right? That's how Prime. You grow flowers. You grow a good crop. It has to happen. That's why manure is very important in the agricultural statement. So, but no, shout out to D, huh?
But also one of the things, if you go old school garden, then you also ground your garden as well. So you can continue to put crap on it all the time, but and water is necessary. But when you really want it to thrive, just for folks to know, if you ground it, put a little copper wire down into that soil,
I like
you got
that.
something else. See what I mean? So, not to get too crazy with that, but I think it's something else. And like, you have to be grounded in what actually is happening too. And I think that's really important. You have to be able to accept reality, not necessarily agree with what's going on with it and saying that I'm okay with it, but it's saying that it is what it is. And that just helps us understand what the heck the pattern is. Okay, this is the pattern that I keep seeing. Okay. And then you can make the values judgment. Then you can say, hey, this is what I want. This is what I don't want. This will serve me well. This will not serve me well. This will actually get me. This is someone that I want on my team. This is not someone that I want on my team. And that's based upon where you are. Yeah.
And that's an objective.
It's not abs. It's intentionally subjective based upon what you want. Right.
Intentionally subjective.
Yes, because it's like, it's still based upon what you need, and it's still relative to your values, where you want to be, and so on. So it's not just an objective truth, right? It's based upon, it's skewed toward what you need, what you want, where you're going, the context of life, your life stage, all of those things. So you get to intentionally choose your teammates. And I think that's what's necessary now. I think all of us as adults, we got to start doing that. Like, if we haven't started, we have to make sure that we are intentionally choosing the people that we want to be in our family.
Right.
Man,
I like the way you put that.
Our blood family, but we also need to choose be intentional about the other family members, the family that's not blood, that wants to come in, that we know that we actually need within our space to kind of get things done and live a life that can be that we can thrive in, so to speak.
Right. And you get that proper resistance too, because it's like you need, you want, like a knife when it cuts through butter, the thinner you slice that thing, like when you sharpen the knife, you want it so fine, because then it goes through smoothly. The more smooth it is, the easier it goes through the butter. But in order for it to sharpen, right, there's that resistance that you have.
For sure.
And I think, you being in my life and a couple other folks that I can name have been very instrumental because if I can't see something, I'm just so trusting that you see it and because I will take the note. I know I will. So just tell me. And I think you're really good at giving the note back, because by giving me the note that then I can give something back as well. Like, it's like everybody's winning. Like he said, you got to want it, man, but you got to work at it. Yeah, we might disagree, but no, it's all love. We just want to because with that conversation we had took about an hour. Because at first I was like, why aren't you like I was kind of resistant, but it wasn't that I wanted to be resistant. I didn't understand until he's like, yeah. Like, you get louder. Just so you know, you get louder when you making your point. But that's because we friends. We there. I hear you. But I thought you do a really good job of communicating. And when you get that level of communication from a friend, it's almost like I kind of require it from other people. And so either people are willing to be subject to it, or they can pull away, which is fine, because either way, I got to be able to communicate. Let's get there. Maybe I'm saying too many words, Goose. You're saying, I got a friend of mine, you say, hey, Goose, you need to gather your thoughts before you talk to me, because you're saying too much. And I said, thank you. You're a little more forgiving, but he's real. Hey, Goose, Gabby, what the heck are you talking about, man? There's another one of them. What are you? Because I'm over here. I didn't connect it.
Yeah. So one of the things I'll say this, I feel that so much because I'm kind of an audible thinker, right? And so when people will see me talking to them, and I'm pulling things down, I'm not I don't have a reservoir of stuff that I'm saying a lot of times. It's just like, whatever. Okay. All right. So I'm always constructive, especially like if I'm not necessarily if I'm giving a talk that I've already rehearsed, but if I'm giving advice, giving some sort of resource or something, and like giving a practical answer, like I got to source it from somewhere. It has to be constructed. But a lot of times I'm just getting raw material. And sometimes I think that's what's going on with you as well. Like you just got the raw material. And so you got to speak it out. And then it's like, okay, now it's like you see them. Now you're seeing the words in the proper place out in the space. Okay. Now that's what it is. And because anybody listens to our podcast as well as you're listening to right now, what you do, what we both do is basically you'll hear us say, there it is. Right. So it's like we'll start something and it was like, there it is. And we're like, boom, we'll capture it and then spit it out in something that actually makes sense for folks. So we do that. We twins on that one.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what we work together. But first 7 chapters.
First 7. Yeah.
In Elevated Dominate, go out and get it. Prime time. Coach Prime.
Absolutely, man.
And they got it song.
21 ways to win on and off the field.
Boom.
That bad boy is good. That thing is good.
Yeah. So we appreciate y'all going on this journey with us.
Absolutely.
I'm putting these practices into my life. So it's like, and it's just practical, man. It's nothing that it's going to take you years to learn. You practice it. It's a practice.
Yep. Very straightforward. Practice like you want to play so you can play like it's practice. That's my quote. That's my favorite quote in the book. Straight up. Yeah. So don't forget to like, subscribe, folks. Share the podcast, share the clips as you see. Subscribe to everything that we're doing right now. We're going to continue to bring you more chapters of this particular book and a lot more. But until the next episode, I'm Trey D.
And I'm Goolsby.
And as always, continue to read.
Read the book. Trying to figure out when to say
Peace out. Peace out, y'all.
Read the book.